Welcome to Marketplace Finds, where we show off some crazy and interesting cars for sale, judge what we think of the price, then order it in our tier list. Originally the 924 was absolutely no one's favourite Porsche, but when modified like this, I think it can win a few hearts. It's got a rooftop tent that isn't doing the design any favours, off-road tyres and a cooking setup in the trunk. The insides had a bit of love with reupholstered seats and new wood panelling. Just ignore the gas leak from the cooker in the back. It had a new engine installed recently and now it doesn't run. The owner just wants it gone, but for $5,000 he might have to drop it lower if he wants a quick sale. But this Porsche is outshined by this next listing, which is the best trailer we've ever seen. This is a full, well half Chevrolet Bel Air that said I'm done with traffic and reinvented itself as a rolling motel room with tail fins. From the outside, it's pure 1957 perfection, turquoise paint, chrome for days, and those iconic fins doing absolutely unnecessary aerodynamic work at campsite speeds. The floor's been dropped for headroom, the rear end's been ditched for a proper trailer axle, and the tow bar unbolts so it can sit at car shows pretending it still has places to be. Sure, it's a bit cut down into an interesting shape, but that adds to how great this thing looks. Even the inside is shockingly cozy, with a full double bed, heat and AC, outlets, lights, and the power plugs in through the tail fin where the gas cap used to be, which is one of the coolest sentences ever written. There's even space in the trunk for a teardrop style camp kitchen, because of course there is. It apparently wins trophies everywhere it goes, and I believe it, but for the $17,500 asking price, it's definitely not cheap. Next up is something I never thought I'd defend, a Mini. And trust me, I'm a Mini hater by default, unreliable, overcomplicated, and usually allergic to dirt. But this one gets a bit of a pass because some maniac has slapped a Mini Cooper body on top of a Chevy tracker frame. Visually it's incredible, tiny hatchback, massive off-road tyres, track width that looks guessed, not measured, and somehow, with enough momentum and bad decisions, it actually climbs rocks. The video proves it. Unfortunately there's no title, so this is a pure woods and backroads toy. They want $2,800 or best offer, and honestly fair for a running, driving machine that shouldn't exist. Next up we've got yet another Joker inspired vehicle that should have just remained the reliable, normal daily driver it was designed to be. It's a 2017 Honda Accord, now slammed on purple and neon green wheels that probably look okay to a colorblind person, but an eyesore to everyone else. The paint job on the other hand is honestly done super well, and the neon has thankfully been restricted to some of the badges, plates and rims. Pop the hood and you'll find a perfectly sensible Honda drivetrain doing its absolute best while dressed like a comic book villain, and the Joker artwork under the hood is there to make sure you understand the theme wasn't an accident, this was a decision. Inside it's exactly what you'd expect with a custom green interior. It's so neon, it's even hard to look at through photos. And I can't even hate, it's done well. It's just something I'd never spend so much money on doing. The seller's not wanting any money, instead opting to trade it for a 2017 to 2020 Honda CR-V. So please don't trade him and let him ruin another Honda. This is a custom built 1996 club car that's been dressed up like a full-on wrecker, complete with a mini boom, hazard lights, and more diamond plate than a late night fabrication shop. It looks like it can tow, but it absolutely cannot tow anything. It isn't saving broken down cars, it's saving small town events, towing company promos, and anyone who wants maximum attention at 12 miles per hour. That boom is strictly emotional support. It's gas powered, has a big onboard stereo, working lights, and even a generator tucked underneath, which somehow makes this both overbuilt and underqualified at the same time. Even the interior is surprisingly awesome, so whoever did the customizing really spent some time and money on it. They're after $15,000, and I know it's not really usable, but who doesn't want a mini tow truck you can almost fit into a bicycle park? You ever see a car that looks like it's got some sort of disease? Well, unfortunately, this 1973 Opel GT looks like it's been collecting them. Apparently, it had aspirations of becoming a road race car, but somewhere along the way, the seller, who happens to be a high school shop teacher, may have let the special students run absolutely wild on it. There's patina, primer, rust, fiberglass, and whatever else was lying around the shop, all blended together in about 8 different stages of decay. To get this paint and bodywork back to anything even remotely presentable, you're going to need a full strip, a gallon of filler, several weekends, and the emotional resilience of someone who says it's fine a lot. Either way, this is being sold as a rolling wide body chassis, not a finished car, more of a suggestion of a race build than an actual one. The seller wants $2,500, which is either wildly optimistic or a very reasonable price depending on how badly you want a project that looks like it fought a welding class and lost. The Citroen HY is the OG corrugated van built from the late 40s through the early 80s because someone in France was apparently a huge fan of roofing iron and people bought them. To be fair though, their production numbers weren't that high, making them a pretty rare find today. As you can see, the seller has done some major restoration and customization, painting it in this beautiful blue matte that apparently cost them $8,000. But the interior is where it really shines, because no longer is it carrying bread, bricks or sheep, but instead a whole man cave. We're talking wood flooring, a computer setup, and what might just be the best little coffee table I've ever seen. The price is where it really stings though, with the owner wanting $39,000, and I'll be honest, I have no clue how much these usually go for, but it still seems expensive. What you're looking at is a Mercedes SL inspired Mini go-kart thing, allegedly linked to Mercedes-Benz and Lorenza, according to a seller who has definitely watched at least 3 YouTube videos about rare finds. The seller insists the SL500 is rare, and the SL560 is even rarer. Exterior-wise, it's basically a child-sized SL Roadster that's been left outside long enough to develop its own ecosystem. Apparently that little lawnmower-looking engine still runs and drives with its 2-speed transmission and even has a foot clutch. I love silly microcars like this, but I'll be honest, I actually have no clue if this is a rare collectible or not, but considering it's been listed at $3,700 for the last half a year, I think we've got our answer. Alright, I know this is technically garage gold and not hangar gold, but after seeing this, there was absolutely no way I was scrolling past it, because nothing says Facebook Marketplace quite like a partially built experimental airplane from 1977 just chilling on someone's driveway like a long-term woodworking project that got wildly out of hand. This is a Jet Air Barracuda, which for anyone not deep in experimental aviation lore is basically what happens when a very patient person says, I don't want to buy a plane, I want to emotionally bond with one over multiple decades, and by emotionally bond, I mean 12,500 documented build hours. You're probably thinking, how can they spend that much time on it, and it still looks like this? And I'll be honest, I'm wondering the same thing. But then they go on to explain that they don't even have an engine, so as it sits, it's basically an unfinished glider. They are only after $5,500, but let's be real, even if it was finished, you'd be putting your faith in a plane built by a guy from Facebook Marketplace. This Firebird didn't age poorly, it was actively sabotaged by someone with access to aftermarket parts and bad taste, because at some point, the owner decided it needed butterfly doors, then they bolted on giant rims that completely overpower the car and annihilate whatever ride quality was left, and of course, the cherry on top, some good old underglow to match the red paint. And if you didn't see this guy rolling around, you're definitely going to hear him with this huge speaker setup in the back, and the rest of the interior isn't too bad aside from being about 5 different shades of red. The seller's wanting $8,000, and although this doesn't appeal to 90% of car guys, someone in that 10% is going to jump on this. We've seen a fair few goofy and terrible golf carts throughout our episodes, but this might actually be the best one we've seen yet. And for the Zoomers watching who were born after Bluetooth was invented, this is from the Flintstones, which is an iconic animated sitcom based in prehistoric times, and every car required leg day. And if you're wondering why this one is so clean, it was apparently custom built for a Google event, which explains why it actually looks right. It's been built on an electric golf cart chassis that's fully functional and drivable, which is awesome, but also kind of sad, because you can't use your feet to power it if it ever runs out of battery. Overall, it's an awesome build, but the asking price of $18,500 is where it kind of loses me, even if I couldn't build something as nice. Alright, I know this isn't our usual car, but Facebook Marketplace has clearly decided today is things that could overthrow a small coastal nation day. So here we are. This is a military bridge erection boat, also known as a combat support boat, which is a sentence that already tells you this thing has absolutely no interest in marinas, jet skis, or your local no-wake zone. Under the armor green everything, it's running twin-saber 6-cylinder turbo diesel inboards hooked to jet drives, which I have no clue about, but they look pretty sweet, and I'm sure it's probably a terrifying amount of power for a floating steel brick. And yes, there are wiring issues, and yes, there are leaks, but that's just your authentic ex-military equipment stuff. You'd be more worried if it didn't have those. Unfortunately, the trailer doesn't come with it for the $35,000 asking price, and sailing at home might get a few questions from the Coast Guard, but it'll be worth it. This is a coffin car, and yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a rolling funeral prop turned DIY hot rod, painted teal for reasons known only to the builder, but also has some weirdly impressive craftsmanship. Sure, it's unfinished with the exhaust heaters sitting in the driver's seat, and the brakes are non-existent, but a little bit of work and you'll have the best Halloween prop on the street. It's up for $4,000, and let's be real, no one's paying above $500 for it. Next up is a 1993 Nissan 240 SX convertible, and yes, before anyone starts typing, this one actually came like this from the factory. Everything that happened after that, however, is a series of personal decisions we now all have to look at together. The once beautiful red paint has been replaced with a full work in progress exterior, and by progress, I mean several steps have been taken backwards. No front bumper, questionable rear, and paint that's somewhere between unfinished and given up on. The car is currently sitting on cinder blocks, which is either anti-theft technology or a cry for help. Calling the inside an interior would be generous, as it's been stripped back pretty far, but at least that means it won't have the moldy carpet smell. The seller's after $2,000, and as much as I want to say this would be an awesome project to restore back to glory, it unfortunately doesn't have a title. You ever seen white walls on a mower before? Yeah, me neither, because this is a custom race mower which exists solely to annoy your neighbors and terrify small dogs. Instead of cutting grass at 7 AM on a Sunday, this bad boy now tops out around 25 to 30 miles per hour, which is an insane speed for a mower. The seller's asking $1,000 or best offer, so although you can't mow a lawn anymore, you can definitely gap a golf cart. This is the kind of truck that looks like it's been through 43 owners, 2 hurricanes, and at least 1 court-ordered cleanup that never happened. It was once a 1999 Ford F-150, but as you can see, it now looks more like a crime scene you're legally allowed to tow away. The red paint is doing that classic late 90s Ford thing where it's halfway faded, halfway peeling, and unfortunately, it's probably the best part of the exterior, because someone has mangled the headlights, gone way overboard on the random bits of diamond plate, and of course that epic hood scoop it's got. Speaking of which, the engine is all there, just that it might have the most amount of non-factory wires I've ever seen in my life, and there's a solid chance it would burn down on the drive home. The interior really isn't much better, with its own ecosystem of dirt and mold in the carpets and some fermenting seats, but hey, they only want $1,000 or best offer, so if you have a scrapyard or a really strong immune system, come grab it. Polaris is a company best known for building quad bikes that climb mountains, side-by-sides that survive rollovers, and snowmobiles that outrun common sense. But to my surprise, Polaris must have let the guy who usually orders oat milk for the whole office design this. A 2016 Polaris GEM, which is basically a quiet electric aquarium made for 6 weak adults. From the outside, it looks like a shuttle bus shrunk in the wash, with its flat panels and giant windows, so you can't even escape the shame of being seen in this thing. Somehow, they're street legal on roads up to 35 miles per hour, even though the max speed they can go is about 25, so I'm sure a 5-time DUI Ram driver will collect it with his front grille in no time. Worst of all though, is the price at $14,500. For that money, Grandma could whip a Sportsman or 3 to bingo and still smoke her friends in the parking lot. It's time for another absolutely unhinged Miata build, and let's just start with the obvious problem, the wing. I don't know what plane this thing was stolen off, but I'm pretty sure it requires clearance from air traffic control when driving around. It probably robs 50% of the power the poor engine makes just from the wind resistance. Then we move down to the stance where it's got minus 15 degrees of camber in the front, minus 12 in the rear, so just like your dad, the tyres are barely making contact. It's sitting on Raceland coilovers too, just to make things worse. Then the interior lets you know that the owner definitely has a Reddit account. I'm talking Rick and Morty door cards, but not only that, an actual pickle Rick shifter. Surprisingly though, the healthiest thing about this entire build is the engine, because the owner has replaced basically everything. And as for the price, I was surprised to see they want $4,000, which honestly isn't half bad. I wish we got the full backstory on this one, but unfortunately, we're only blessed with 3 photos, and somehow that's more than enough to tell us exactly how this went sideways. The poor Camaro SS has been stripped for most of its parts after a scorned lover took revenge with the spray can, and to make things worse, even misspelled liar on the bumper. At $850, just take it to the scrapyard and lay it to rest.
Here's how the final tier list ended up. Let us know what we got right, what we got wrong, is there anything you change around. We've got a new submission forms link, so if you find a cool or interesting car, you can send it to us using that. Otherwise, thanks for watching, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.